name is Christy Tanikai, and this is my testimony. So I was born in South Auckland, but most of my life I grew up in Central Auckland, mainly Kingsland and Mount Roscoe. I remember of my parents they were really strict. They made sure that every Sundays we went to church. Just like any other island family, we had our family prayer before we went to sleep. And my parents always tried to do their best to raise us up and made sure that we knew what was right from wrong. And when we did cross the line, like doing something we knew we shouldn't be doing, my dad and mom always disciplined us, just trying to teach us not to go that way. That path was gonna lead you to either jail or gonna be struggling when you get older. It was my dad always did his best to put food on the table and tried really hard to work for us. In college, I kind of already had my plan sussed out where I wanted to be when I finished, and that was try and pursue a career in professional rugby. But what distracted me was when I got exposed to alcohol, hanging out with my friends, and just that socializing every weekend, and just what made me so clingy to it was just the excitement and the like what's gonna happen that night, and always getting up to mischief. That kind of distracted me from where I wanted to be. Most of my weekends, rather than knowing that I should be studying for school or getting ready for church or doing something at home, I was always planning with my friends, the next drink up, or how we're gonna plan our weekend, how it's gonna finish, what are we gonna do the next day. So I kind of became a addict to it. That kind of set the tone for me from there on, becoming an alcoholic, and just opening other avenues for me. No longer what my dream was, but what how to kind of satisfy that craving or what I wanted. It wasn't what I needed, it was mainly what I wanted. So I was 21 years old and I had my first kid with my girlfriend. At the time, at the time was kind of exciting, but at the same time it was kind of like sort of a wake-up call that I need to grow up now. Now I have responsibilities, now I have a little family to try and feed and look after. And the right thing was always in my mind was making a woman out of my girlfriend and marrying her. But I was always still trying to live my life, trying to with the last bit of money, knowing in New Zealand earning peanuts, and still trying to fit in your little wants, still trying to act single, still trying to be free, still trying to have fun with your friends, was always clashing with my responsibility as being a father to my daughter and looking after my family. This was always kind of always bringing tension between me and my girlfriend. Always arguing, and this brought like insecurity between us. Where I was, what I was always doing, and that's when we decided we move over to Australia and start fresh. And so when we moved over to Australia, probably like 2 months into it, I had no job, and the money that we had saved up, it disappeared in like 1 month, and that's kind of like when I knew then I needed God. So it was February the 8th, 2015. I was sitting at the back of the service, and I remember the day. I don't remember much about the sermon, but I remember the pastor came up to me and he asked me if I wanted to receive Christ into my life. That's when everything just hit me at one go. I knew I needed Christ, but at the same time I was still like trying to wrestle, whether to carry on living my life or surrender and live for God. And that's when I turned to the side and I saw my girlfriend crying, and that's when we both responded. It was February the 8th. We both gave our life to Christ. But that day, I didn't feel anything. I just knew I had to surrender my life, because I knew the life that I was living wasn't going according to plan. It wasn't happy, it wasn't fulfilling, it wasn't satisfying. The life that I planned felt like I was just going round in a circle. And so I knew that God had rules, and I knew that if I lived according to God's rules and His purpose, I knew something better was going to be better than the life that I was living before. So 5 years from there, 2015, God has done a lot in my life. He gave me a beautiful wife. We got married not long after that. A couple of months from then, we had two. I had two more kids, and one of the main problems for me was that God set me free from was not just from my selfishness, but also my insecurities and wanting to be someone that other people could see and accept me, but rather God accepting me and knowing that He loves me for who I am, and just being carried by God's love, and knowing that it was His love that paid for my sins, and it was His love that gave me what I have now, and that's a new job, a beautiful family, 4 princesses, and being a good father to them, and being that responsible dad, and providing, protecting my children, and giving them that future that they deserve, and that's growing up to be that godly woman that they could look up to, from my wife, and also God's standards and His laws, and just by the fellowship, Potter's House, and what they have offered for us.